Does it feel like this school year has like been trying to take you out? Like literally, that's where I've been, guys. What is happening? Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so a lot has been going on. I feel like I prepared myself completely for the start of the year, right? I was not doing a lot of stuff with the room. I was only enhancing. I was making sure that I was prepared, that my household was prepared, like all of the things. But I still feel like the last week and a half came for me with vengeance. Like I really feel like school's been trying to take me out, and I'm just, here I am, right? I got a testimony. I made it. I'm here, but your girl's not through, okay? Seriously, let's get into all the things that I've been doing. And we got to talk about parent communication. All right, so as you can see, all the things that I've been doing, everything that I've been up to, but we've got to get to the whole reason why we're here today, right? And that is the parent communication. Listen to me, friends. Parent communication can either make your school year easier or become one of the things that will completely overwhelm you and literally cause you to be shipwrecked. I'm telling you, it will either make or break that year for you. Okay, so I have learned that the goal isn't to communicate more. Okay, so take that out of your mind. It's not about what more to do or doing more, right? The goal is to communicate clearly, consistently, and before parents have to come looking for information. That's the main goal. Okay, so I want to go through some things that I do in my classroom, a system that I have, just so you can also snag it, right? Like that's what we're here for. All right, so number one is you have to establish one primary communication channel. One. So last year I used the Blooms app. That may be something that you want to look into if you don't have a school wide or district wide communication channel or feature that you guys are using. Blooms is it, and it's completely free. Completely free. It is the bomb. I loved it. My parents loved it. It was great. This year we're using Parent Square, and so it's really good. It's not Blooms, but my entire school is using it, and so that's the way that we're communicating this week. But the whole reason that you need to establish the one communication channel is because your families need to know where to find the information. They need to know where the information lives and not just in your head. Okay, so how are you going to do this? So at the beginning of the year, it's not too late. Don't you worry. August into September is always still considered the beginning of the year. And for many of you, you have curriculum night. So get it together, okay? So you want to establish this at the beginning of the year. You want to tell parents what you'll use it for. So for example, for Parent Square, we use it for weekly newsletter, a study guide that I just posted for my families. Like whatever communication is happening, this is how we're doing it. And this is where you can find the information. Also, something that makes it easier is that parents can check it when they're free. But if you tell them what you're using it for, parents are also able to really navigate when they need to be checking it and establishing that rhythm. And if we're honest, those emails, baby, are getting tangled in the tangledness of emails. You don't want your parents to have to literally scatter among different places and different types of information to try to find out, whether it's in a text message or an email or an app or a paper version, whatever the case is. And you will probably still use email when it's appropriate, but parents should know the main hub. Maybe it's a classroom website. Whatever is the easiest for you, you need one communication channel. All right, the next thing you have to do is communicate with your parents before they ask. This is huge, right? So I strongly believe that before a parent has a chance to ask me about it, hey, here it is. I'm handing it to you, whatever. And I'm also reaffirming that with the student. For example, what are we studying? That's something that I cover in my newsletter. Where we're going, where we've been, right? We're taking pictures so that parents can also feel like they're a part of our classroom, because the reality is parents are sending their child with you all day long and they're trusting that you're teaching them. I believe you are. The parent believes you are. But wouldn't it be nice to receive a picture of Johnny doing his work as opposed to just taking your word for it? I'm just saying. And if you're not a picture taker, hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just simply saying. Also, with your communication hub, you're making sure that if you're posting or if you're adding something, that it's useful communication. We're not just communicating because we're bored or for the sake of posting. This is not Facebook. This is not that, right? This is for the sake of the system of your classroom working to inform your parents and to make sure that we're all on the same page. Next thing, do not only contact parents when something is wrong. Now, this is a big one that a lot of teachers do quite often. This is huge, right? So you have to be intentional about creating positive deposits before you ever need to have a difficult conversation. So something that I do all of the time is at the end of the first week, I don't care how many kids I have, I don't care how tired I am, at the end of the first week, I'm calling every single parent, at least one of them from my roster, and I'm having a conversation with them. Now, here's a caveat, and I know you're not going to like this. If families are separated and I'm aware, or whatever's mom and dad don't, whatever, I'm calling the parent of those children, okay? And I am communicating to them how much of a great time we had, or whatever the case is. So let me give you a sample phone call, okay? Hey, somebody on the phone. This is Miss Schaefer from my school. Just wanted to call and let you know that Johnny is so amazing. I know you already know this, but we had a really great week, and I just wanted to call and communicate that to you. Let you know how excited we are about the year. Whatever, okay? If you can think of something that Johnny did great this week, include that. If Johnny was bad, I'm sorry. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about Johnny, by faith, is going to have a good year. Because you want to give a positive communication or a positive deposit. Now, there are times on this phone call, number one, your parents are going to take over and they're going to have a field day because they've never had this happen before. Okay? They're going to immediately think that you are the bee's knees. You are the best there was, the best there ever will be. And you don't have to give me credit for it, okay? Hey, they're going to love you and I'm here for it, for you. The second thing that's going to happen is they're going to give you insight about their child that you're not asking for. They're going to tell you that they know Johnny talks too much. And so then you are going to use that opportunity because we're having a positive moment, because I'm not calling about Johnny talking too much. But since you brought it up, you know, now that you mention it, we did have a couple of times this week where we're trying to get used to our routines and finding those rhythms of when it's appropriate to talk and when it's not appropriate to talk. But Johnny's doing great. I'm really confident that we're going to have a great year. Do you see what I did there? I told Johnny's mom that Johnny is talking too much in class, but I also wrapped it around and said, we're going to have a great year. Johnny's mom heard me say that Johnny's talking too much, and she's going to address Johnny. But you know what? She didn't hear me calling about Johnny talking too much. She called me because I'm such a great teacher, and she loves good teachers. You are welcome. Okay? You are welcome. Another way of intentional positive deposits, I don't know if you do this, depending on your age group, it may get wonky, but birthday celebrations, classroom photos, taking pictures of what's happening in the room, communicating those positive moments, talking about having a great month. Let's say you already, your first week is past, you're done, right? But your first month has not. Okay? And if you've been in school for a while now, your first quarter has not. You're still not too late to declare whatever the first is. So what I'm saying to you is, go ahead and put it in your spirit. At the end of the week, you're going to make some phone calls. Okay? Thank you. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's going to be great. Okay? All right. Another thing that we have to make sure that we're doing in this vein of communication with parents is when there is a problem, communicate facts, not out of frustration. So my formula that I use for my emails, if there is a problem, I communicate, number one, what I observed. Okay, this is what I saw. I always pick on Johnny. So let's say this is what I saw Suzette doing in class, and the action, right? This is what I did. I've given Suzette numerous reminders. We even had private conversations to figure out what's going on here. She told me that when she sits with Sally Mae, because Sally made me do it too much, she told me that, whatever, that's the action. The next thing is the partnership and then the follow-up. Does that make sense? So I'm going to, what I observed, the action that I took in class, And then how I need the parents to support. If you wouldn't mind having a conversation with Suzette about the importance of, not distracting others or excessive talking or following the expectation, whatever, you make it up, whatever, that you're inviting the parent in. You want to take your parents from feeling like this email or this phone call is about how bad Suzette is to, I'm not calling about how bad she is, I'm calling to partner with you. I'm calling so that we can come together and figure out how can we make Suzette successful this year. Okay? And then exactly 1 week from that conversation, I know. Exactly 1 week from that conversation, you're going to follow up. You're going to follow up in regards to the email that you sent about Suzette or the phone call. You're going to follow up and you're going to tell the parents if it's going well or if it's going bad. Right? Because parents want to know. I talked to Suzette. How does she do? Did you see any change? Whatever the case is, that's how it's going to happen. So the formula is observation, action, partnership, follow up. Got it? All right, so speaking of follow up, let's go ahead and get into it. Follow up communication matters just as much as the initial, right? So this is something that many teachers forget. We're frustrated. At the end of the day, we immediately email parents and we walk away, we forget. But if you tell a parent that you're monitoring something or you're looking into it, or if you've observed an issue, you need to circle back. You owe it to that parent to say, hey, Suzette is doing much better. Thank you so much for partnering. Or Johnny is not doing well. We have tried, blah, 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 and this continues to show up. Is there a chance? Whatever, right? I don't want to escalate to parent-teacher conference yet, but whatever the case is, parents want to know. And so don't only follow up when things get worse. Follow up when things are good as well, when you see improvement. Also, if you're following up because things are not good, highlight one thing. For example, I had a kid that kept blurting out, but I could tell he was trying. And so I mentioned that in the email. I can tell that Martin Luther King is really trying very hard. But it is still happening. And so maybe another conversation about self-control or self-regulation, whatever the case is, right? Does that make sense? All right. Parents can give you information you don't have. So this is very important, okay? So you see a student in school, the parents know everything that's happening outside of school. So some of the behavior you're seeing in school may be because they are moving. Where are they supposed to put that on a school form? Some of the things you see in class may be because they're going through a family transition. Who shall they tell, pray tell? So these conversations and this partnership really does open up an opportunity for families to feel more comfortable with you, to be able to say, hey, Suzette has always struggled with, ADHD, and this is how it shows up, whatever the case is, right? And so again, this is not to make light of what's happening, but parents can give you the true information that you sometimes don't have in your observation time. Next thing, document the important stuff. Listen to me, okay? And I'm talking about behaviorally, academically, medical, safety related, ongoing concerns, issues. For example, I sent a class-wide email today. It was too much talking. I'm not reminding you. I'm not giving warnings. We're not doing a reflection sheet. I'm emailing everybody's parent is getting a class-wide email about this excessive talking and also not following the expectations in the hallways. You better believe I'm documenting that in my student data sheets, that on today, I gave everybody a class-wide email. These are the people who responded. This is the communication that brought up. For example, even after that, I had a conversation with a parent that gave insight to their child. This is what partnership looks like. And my heart really goes out for those teachers who just don't have an opportunity for that partnership. Hurt families before, and so the trust is not there. But I am telling you, when parents know that, and again, yes, we can go back and forth with the kind of parents and get all technical. But generally speaking, when parents know that you have their child's best interest in heart, I'm telling you, it's different. It's different. I think another thing that we need to do that's very important for parent communication is boundaries are a part of good parent communication. Listen to me. Teachers do not have to be accessible every waking hour to be a good communicator. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you don't have the capacity to respond back immediately, go ahead and let your parents know. Give me 24 to 48 hours to respond to this. That's it. At the bottom of every one of my newsletters, it literally says, I am busy teaching your child to the best of my ability, so please forgive me if I do not respond to your email immediately. I do look forward to touching bases with you within 24 hours. Now, granted, I don't use the whole 24 hours, but there may come a day where I need time. I have kids also. I have my own life. Every day is not perfect for me. Whatever. It gives you an opportunity to set the expectations and the boundaries for your parents. And just, to literally close that chapter, responsive doesn't mean instantly available, right? That's not what we're looking for. And then I don't wait until a problem has become huge before communicating. I was talking to another teacher today, for example, and so with a student that is already becoming an issue, like you already see this issue brewing. What are we waiting on to communicate to the parent? Who are you waiting on? Are you waiting on someone to give you permission to reach out to this parent and say, especially after a parent has told you, please let me know when, I don't know, Watermelon is doing a bad job. Please let me know when his seeds are just all over the place. Like, they have given you permission. Email them and say, now that you mention it, Watermelon is buck wild in this room. Whatever the case is, but making sure that that you are communicating with the parents and you're not waiting for a problem to become huge. One last thing I want to say is not every classroom behavior requires parent contact, right? And that's not what I'm saying at all. That every time somebody does something, I think a lot of the problems that we're running into is that our expectations for our students are not clear. And as a result, our behavior plans are not clear. Those two things have to be clear in order for students to know what is expected of them, how to show it well, and also when they fall off the wagon, they know exactly how they messed up, right? And they're not guessing, oh man, what did I do wrong? No, the expectation is that transitions are silent. That's the expectation. So anything outside of that is missing the expectation. So when I ask my students, let's try that again. Come on back and have a seat. Let's try it again. I probably should do a video so you guys can see this in real action. I don't mind. I get the whole row because we want 100% compliance, right? So get the whole row. Come on back. Row 2, come on back. We didn't quite meet the goal right there. Row 1, show us how transitions are done, please. And row 1 will go and they will do the transition or whatever the case is. Beautiful, row 1. I love how you're silent. I love how you're not running. And you praise the things that they're doing well, but that's a whole nother video, not the communication video. All right, so at the end of the day, I don't want parents to feel like they're on one side and I'm on the other side, right? We're not against each other. We both care about the same child. We're both here for the same reasons. And so good communication really helps us to operate like a team. But that doesn't mean that constant communication is what it has to be, right? For me, the goal is clear. Proactive, kind, professional, consistent communication. So tell me in the comments, what's the hardest part of parent communication for you? Is it the difficult conversations? Is it keeping up with the messages? Is it knowing when to contact home or who to contact? Or even maintaining boundaries? What is the hardest part of parent communication for you? Because I think this is something we need to talk about and really exchange ideas on. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Listen, I don't know what we're waiting on, but you should go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all the things, right? Because I'm Patrice and this is Keeping It Teacherish.